Hello, welcome to today's class on the ADDIE model part 1. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the analysis phase of the ADDIE instructional model, describe the purpose of the analysis phase in the ADDIE model, and how it contributes to effective instructional design. The word ADDIE is an acronym that stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation. ADDIE was created in the 1970s by the Center for Educational Technology at Florida State University. ADDIE is a step-by-step process for creating effective educational and training programs. For this lesson, we'll be looking at the analysis phase of the ADDIE model. The analysis phase of the ADDIE model involves systematically understanding the problem, the audience, and the learning contents to create an effective training program. This phase involves 7 steps. We'll be looking at these 7 steps one after the other. Step 1 of the analysis phase in the ADDIE model: identify the problem or need. Identifying the problem or need is a process that ensures training or other interventions are targeted effectively. By doing this, you first of all determine the performance gap. This step involves comparing the current state, what is happening, with the desired state, what should be happening. Now, a performance gap is any discrepancy between what is happening and what should be happening. Let's look at this example. Employees are not meeting performance targets. The gap is the difference between their current performance and the expected performance. Secondly, you collect data. You are collecting data to validate your identified performance gap. You can do this using surveys, interviews, or performance reports. These data sources help clarify the issue and provide evidence of the gap. Thirdly, you define the need for training. Now, after you have analyzed the data, it is important for you to determine if training is the right solution, because not all performance gaps require training. Some may be caused by factors like lack of resources, unclear expectations, or motivational issues. Now, if the issue stems from a lack of knowledge or skills, then training would be an appropriate solution. Step 2 of the analysis phase: conduct a needs assessment. Conducting a needs assessment focuses on gathering comprehensive insights and evaluating performance to identify where improvements are needed. Let's look at this breakdown. Firstly, you gather input from stakeholders. Gathering input from stakeholders involves consulting various groups such as management, employees, and customers. This will help you have an insight to the bigger picture. We look at analyzing current skills and knowledge. Analyzing current skills and knowledge involves evaluating what learners already know and identifying if there is any gap between their existing skills and skills needed to achieve a desired outcome. You are doing this in order to avoid duplication of knowledge. Then we look at review performance metrics. You review performance metrics by examining key factors such as sales figures, customer satisfaction scores, or productivity statistics. If you do this, you can identify specific areas where performance are lacking. Then these metrics will help in quantifying the gaps and provide a clear basis for designing interventions or training aimed at improving results. Step 3: determine learning objectives. This process outlines how to establish effective training goals that directly address business needs and performance issues. By doing so, you need to set clear, measurable goals. Now, after you have completed the needs assessment in step 1 and step 2, it is crucial to define specific outcomes for training, and these goals should be clear. When we talk about clarity, we mean easily understood by all stakeholders. It should be measurable. When we talk about being measurable, there should be a way to quantify success, such as increase in productivity or reducing in error rate. Secondly, we align objective with business outcomes. Learning objectives should be directly tied to broader business goals. For example, if the problem identified is low customer satisfaction, training objective might include enhancing communication skills or improving service efficiency. This will ensure that training has a tangible impact on performance metrics. Step 4, analyze the learners. This involves understanding your target audience, assess learning preferences, identify motivational factor. In understanding your target audience, you are going to gather information about their demographics, about their age, their level of education, their skill sets, and their job roles. When you understand their job roles, you will be able to tailor your training to be relevant to their job roles. Secondly, you assess learning preferences. You observe your learners and try to understand the kind of learners you have. If they are visual learners, auditory learners, or hands-on experienced learners, you identify motivational factors. What can motivate your learners to get involved in this training? Most of them could be motivated through their jobs. If you tell them that if they understand that the learning outcome will enhance their job performance, their skill performance, or for their personal development. Step 5, analyze the learning environment. In these steps, we are focusing on selecting the most effective delivery method. By doing so, you are going to evaluate delivery options. Here, you choose the most suitable training format by considering first the needs of the learners and secondly the nature of the content. From these options, you can select online, blended learning, or in-person, depending on the content and the nature of your learners. Secondly, you assess technology and resources. Here, you review what tools and resources are available for delivering the training. These tools and resources might include digital tools such as a learning management system, video conferencing platforms, or e-learning software. Then you look at physical spaces, which include classrooms, meeting rooms, or equipment needed for in-person training. Thirdly, you account for time and logistics factors. These factors include practical constraints of delivering the training, such as employee availability, their schedules, their shifts, when can they be free for this training. You look at workplace conditions. Factors like geographical location, travel requirements, or business hours should be considered before making any training, or it will help you make your training convenient and visible without disrupting operations. Step 6, identify constraints and resources. This step focuses on planning the practical aspect of the training, ensuring it is financially visible, ensuring it is time-bound, and supported by experts. Let's look at the breakdown. Budgeting. In budgeting, you are evaluating how much funding is available for both the design and delivery of the training. This includes the design cost. Design cost explains the fees for instructional designers, content development, and any necessary materials. You look at the delivery cost, expenses for platforms, if it's online, if it's in person, the venue, and the trainers. Then understanding this budget will help you to tailor the training to what is affordable without compromising quality. Secondly, you look at time frame. Develop a clear, realistic schedule for training. In your time frame, you are developing a clear, realistic schedule for training, which includes, let's look at developing rollouts and completing the training. Under development, we look at time needed for creating materials, structuring the curriculum, and testing the delivery method. The rollout, the period for conducting the training, whether in stages or as a one-time event. Then we look at completion, deadlines for when learners should finish the training and when outcomes should be assessed. Setting a well-defined time frame keeps the project on track and ensures timely delivery. Thirdly, we look at expert availability. You identify and secure your subject matter experts or your trainers who will contribute their knowledge and guide learners through the training. This includes your SMEs and your expert availability includes your SMEs and your trainers. SMEs are specialists who provide insight on the training content. They are known as subject matter experts. Step 7, document the findings. This process focuses on summarizing and applying the findings from Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4, Step 5, and Step 6 to inform the design of the training program. Let's look at the breakdown. Summarize key insights. After gathering all necessary data, it is important to consolidate key details about the problems, the learners, the objectives, the constraints, and the resources. Let's look at the problems. Clearly define the performance gap or issue that the training is meant to address. The learners, here you summarize the demographics, the skill levels, and the motivational factors that will influence how the training is designed. The environment, and in the environment you capture information about the learning environment, such as whether it will be in person or online or even a blended learning training. We look at the objectives. Here you reiterate the measurable goals and learning objectives that the training should achieve. Look at the constraints. You identify any limitations such as budget, time, or resource availability. In resources, you note available tools, technology, and subject matter experts that will support the training development. Secondly, you use findings to guide design. These summarized insights will form the foundation for the design phase, ensuring that the training is aligned with the specific needs of the learners and the specific needs of the organization. You ensure that the content and delivery methods are appropriate for the learning environment and preferences. You ensure that any constraints or limitations are considered by making the training visible and achievable within the set parameters. Now, by following the 7 steps of the analysis phase, the instructional designer ensures that the training is well planned and tailored and designed to effectively solve the identified performance gap or issues in the organization. Thank you.